Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanidhari Vallabha Girivanidhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanidhari Jana Vallabha Girivanidhari Yasoda Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Nanda Brajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjati Hari Radha Madhava Kunjati Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjati Hari Madhava Kunjabihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanidhari Jana Vallabha Girivanidhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanidhari Vallabha Girivanidhari Yasoda Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Nanda Brajagana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Bhagavacharya Satarya Satashishiva His Divine Grace H.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gauda Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prema Seko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gauda Bhaktivinoda Ki ISKCON Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Ganga Mahi Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Shri Radha Golokananda Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 71, and this text 24. Yeah, just, I don't know, brief announcement, I don't know, Ranjit passed away yesterday, I don't know. Ranjit, I don't know if you, from the archives? Yeah, so he lives in Florida. He moved from North Carolina to Prabhupada Village, maybe at least 10, 15 years ago, maybe longer. He's been working with the BBT, but he worked with the archives probably 20, 30 years. You know, he digitized all the photographs and stuff a long time. He was in L.A., and then he moved out here with them. He went in the hospital, and he had some issue with the gallbladder, and then they found out his liver was like, this all happened within a week. He was really sick. He just one of those tolerated, and then went in the hospital. And then they had to deal with this gallbladder. And then when they operated, they saw, okay, he's got other serious issues too, and Runjit. So you got Ekanath, not quite 2 weeks ago, and then Runjit yesterday, about a week apart, both, for the archive, work for the BBT. Cancer. Advanced stage cancer, and it's really advanced cancer. I mean, whatever need. I heard about that probably about 4 days ago. Somebody told me, and so within 4 days of him having within a week of him having an operation, he had passed away. You would think, yeah, it's a lot of toleration. There are some people that very, very, very rare that they tolerate it to death. It's extremely rare. I've heard a couple of people that just suffer through it. They just, it's my karma. I'm just going to deal with it. I don't think I'm could be one of those. Yeah, it's a tough road. But anyway, I knew him very well. I had dealings with him in the BBT. With my program, BBT, getting copyrights for my Bhagavad Gita show, and then plus with him on the archives. I got so many images from the archives with him, through him. And anyway, I'm not going to get into it. It's okay. So we're going to continue. Sorry for the bad news, but everybody kind of send thoughts and to his prayers. He had one daughter, and he's married, and so. Well, somewhere, yeah. Depends on what we want out of life, definitely liberation is there for, everybody's going to, if they want it, it's available for the service and the things that we do. Krishna Prem is going to take some lifetimes. It's not easy, but liberation is a byproduct. If you chant one time the holy name of the Lord, and Namabas, you get liberation. Namabas, just once. That's a shadow. When we talk about liberation, no, we're not talking about Mayavad. Mayavad, oftentimes we hear about liberation, that the Mayavadi's liberation. But we're talking about liberation. Liberation is that point. This is in the 10th canto chapter. No, 2nd canto chapter 10, text 6. There's a definition of liberation. It's that permanent situation when one gives up their gross and subtle bodies and have it and they attain a transcendental platform, transcendental body. And Prabhupada often says, you don't come back. He uses that definition sometimes too, but he also says, even if you liberation, you can come back, but you come back with a spiritual body. You're like these associates of the Lord. They're under the power of Yoga Maya, Lord's transcendental. Okay, so maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the class here. Anyway, Om Ganda Timaranda Shagananjana Shilakaya Chakshara Tajmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I'm probably going to, I thought it was actually 25, but it doesn't matter. 24 is part of it. I'm going to go through about 3 or 4 verses, just finish this dialogue. There's really no commentaries, the BBT, but the acharyas have said a few things. We want to finish this greeting of Krishna by the Pandavas, and then the next dialogue is that he enters the city. So, text number 25. Gita. Well, 24, I'm sorry. 24. Gita, Vaditra, Gosena. Gita, Vaditra, Gosena. Brahma, Gosena, Bhuyasa. Brahma, Gosena, Bhuyasa. Abhyayat, Sa, Rishikesam, Avyayatsa Rishikesam Pranam Ivadrita Pranam Ivadrita Gita Vaditra Gosena Brahma Gosena Bhuyasa Avyayatsa Rishikesam Pranam Ivatrita Gita Vaditra Gosena Brahma Gosena Bhushyasa Avyayatsa Rishikesam Pranam Ivadrita Gita Vaditra Gosena Brahma Gosena Bhuyasa Avyayatsa Rishikesam Pranam Ivadrita. All right. Gita Vaditra Gosena Bhuyasa. Gita Gosena Anasa Gita Abhayayatsa Gita Vaditra Gosena Gita Vaditra Gosena Okay, Gita of song, Vaditra, the instrumental music, Gosena, with sound, Brahma, of the Vedas, Gosena, with the sound, Abhuyasa, abundant, Abhayayat, went forth, Sahi, he, Rishikesam, to Lord Krishna, Prana, the senses, Pranam, consciousness, or the air of life, Eva, as, Adrita, reverential. Translation. As songs and musical instruments resounded along with the loud vibration of Vedic hymns, the king went forth with great reverence to meet Lord Rishikesh, just as the senses go forth to meet the consciousness of life. Purport. Lord Krishna is here described as Rishikesh, the Lord of the senses. And King Yudhishthira, I guess we would repeat this, as the songs and musical instruments resounded along with loud vibration of Vedic hymns. The king went forth with great reverence to meet Lord Rishikesh. Just as the senses go forth to meet the consciousness of life. Purport. Lord Krishna is here described as Rishikesh, the Lord of the senses, and King Yudhishthira rushing to the Lord is compared to the senses eagerly joining the consciousness of life. Without consciousness, the senses are useless. Indeed, the senses function through consciousness. Similarly, when the individual souls are bereft of Krishna consciousness, love of God, they enter into a useless and illusionary struggle called material existence. Pure devotees like King Yudhishthira are never bereft of the Lord's association, for they keep him always within their heart, and yet they feel special ecstasy when they see the Lord after a long separation as described here. So Jiva Goswami has a commentary. Rishikesh means having hair which shone. Thus, from far off, he is shown because of his effulgence. Or he controlled all the senses of prema. Adrita means respected or worshipped. Yudhishthira was respected by Krishna when Krishna came to his place, got off his chariot, etc. The senses which become inactive without the life air, which leaves the body as when fainting, approach the life air when it returns. Om Ganda Timrandasya Gananjana Shilakya Chakraroli Tamina Tajmai Sri Gurave Nama. So we have, as Acharyas often do, we have multiple meanings of words, and often based on the context of how that word is being used and what that word is associated with. And so we're getting a lot of that in our Chaitanya Charitamrita, reading it with the Atmaram verse, how Lord Chaitanya, 64 meanings of that verse, how he breaks it down. So we're going to read, this is about relationships. This is primarily family relationships. These are all family members. You know, that Yudhishthira and the Pandavas, they're cousins with Krishna. You know, their mother, Queen Kunti, was the sister of Vyasadeva. So in family members, you know that, you know, mother and families are very tight, and then the aunts and cousins even a little bit tighter, and then as you branch out, and grandparents, grandkids, they all tend to, you know, there's a tight-knit group there. But then as the, you know, second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins, at times to get a little bit looser, but you can see how strong family ties are. And in the philosophy we hear this so much about how the knot of family life is very hard and it's very difficult to cut, amongst so many other things. So 25. Drishtra Vilinana Hridaya Krishnam Saneya Pandava Chiradrishtam Priyantanam Swastvajeta Puna Puna. So the sneha's affection is one of the things I want to talk about. This is translation. The heart of King Yudhishthira melted with affection when he saw his dear most friend Lord Krishna after such a long separation, and he embraced the Lord again and again. Jiva Goswami, small commentary. Krishna was by nature attractive to all hearts, but he was especially dear to Yudhishthira. Krishna was the crest jewel among all his friends, and he was seeing him after a long time. Therefore, repeatedly he embraced Krishna, since he felt unsatisfied when he stopped. And so these different Pandavas we'll read here, they'd all, because of their relationship with Krishna, some older, some younger, they all had their greetings with one another. It was very different. Even though they were very intimate, family related, there was etiquette in the relationships when they greet one another. 26, the eternal form of the Lord Krishna is the everlasting residence of the goddess of fortune. As soon as King Yudhishthira embraced him, the king became free from all contamination of material existence. He immediately felt transcendental bliss and merged in an ocean of happiness. There were tears in his eyes, and his body shook due to ecstasy. He completely forgot that he was living in the material world. So that's some higher stages of ecstasy. We'll try to hit on that a little bit, especially when you feel these snehas, because they already had prema. These Pandavas, they already achieved that. And this verse was taken from Prabhupada's Krishna book. Vishwanath says, he embraced with his arms the limbs of Mukunda, which were the shelter of beauty, Ram, and the faultlessness, Amalam. By this he forgot all worldly pleasure, Vishmrita Loka Vid Rama, being submerged in the bliss of prema beyond material realm. Jiva Goswami, in examining the good fortune of Yudhisthira and others, Sukadev sings using a longer meter in 2 verses because of his intense prema. So we have Sukadev Goswami who's telling the story. And of course, Srimad Bhagavatam is poetry, and it's sung, and we sing, and there's different meters. And you can see when even musicians, they're very expert when they write music. Sometimes they'll change the rhythm, or they'll change even the meter, and how they express a song they've written, and whatever the progression is, that can be abruptly, changed. And similarly, Sukadev Goswami is very interesting. He's singing this to Pariksit Maharaj, and then he has, because of his intense prema, he makes a change in his presentation. And we see that the acharyas, they all can do, Raghunath can, 3 different meters he chants Srimad Bhagavatam. It says he embraced Krishna tightly for a long time. Embracing with his arms is redundant, but out of bliss, it expresses the oneness of 2 persons. Lakshmi does not remain personally in other abodes since they are faulty without sweetness. She stays there only in a shadow form. However, she stays with the Lord personally because he is the shelter of all good qualities and faultless. He removes all sorrow and bestows the highest bliss, Mukunda. By Krishna's embrace, all his suffering from separation vanished and attained the highest bliss. The long separation was excellent since it ended with the highest bliss. Since he was the Lord of men, all his followers were experienced similar feelings. That was Jiva Goswami breaking it down. So then Bhima, his eyes brimming with tears, laughed with joy as he embraced with his maternal cousin Krishna. Arjuna and the twins, Nakula and Sahadev, also joyfully embraced their dearmost friend, the infallible Lord. And they cried profusely. So there's no BBT commentaries here on these verses, but the other commentaries are here. I was interested in reading that maybe one of Sanatana Goswami's, that the acharyas, if Sridhar Swami didn't make a commentary on a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, then they wouldn't make a commentary. Lots of times when we give class, there's been a standard that if Prabhupada didn't give a commentary, then devotees, when they give class, don't make commentaries. They just keep reading until there's a commentary. And this goes way back. I just read all the way back to Sridhar Swami. As cousins, they did not show undue reverence with each other. They were overwhelmed with affection. They embraced and felt bliss. When their faces blossomed with smiles, all their senses were filled with prema. When Nakula, Sahadev, and Arjuna shed even more tears out of joy than Bhima and Yudhisthira, as they embraced their best friend, Achyuta. All their senses were covered with prema. Prema java instead of prema jala. 2 different types of prema. And there's, of course, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we read about the different types of, on the Vaidhi platform, the different types of prema these individuals had. Prahlad had type of prema. The Pandavas had a particular type of prema. Each one actually, Ambarish had a particular type of prema. I'm trying to think of the 5 types. It's in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. They're mentioned prema tara, prema bhakti, sudha bhakti. There are different types of all prema. But this is, and then when one moves to Brihad Bhagavatam Part 2, then we see a different prema with the gopis in the residence of Vrindavan. And as was mentioned here, this is all friendship. Arjuna is mentioned last. It should also be understood out of prema, Krishna was also fixed in embracing them. Arjuna is mentioned last because he wanted to embrace Krishna for a long time, or outcome with intense affection. He could not come quickly and thus arrived last. Overcome with intense affection. So he showed up last. Okay, so we're going to do 28. After Arjuna had embraced him once more, and Nakula and Sahadev had offered him their obeisances, Lord Krishna bowed down to the Brahmins and the elders present, thus properly honoring and respecting the members of the Kuru, Srinjaya, and Kayakaya clans. I have no idea who these different groups and subgroups of tribes and, Okay, so here's a purport. Srila Sridhar Swami mentions that since Arjuna was considered Lord Krishna's social equal, when Arjuna tried to bow down to him, Lord Krishna held Arjuna by his arms so that he could only embrace him. The twins, however, being junior cousins, bowed down and grasped Lord Krishna's feet. So we'll read what Sanata has to say. For their first embrace, endowed with reverence, with a general description of everyone's bewilderment and joy were described. They observed proper behavior from their respective positions. Now, the last 3 Pandavas, more intense emotions are described. Arjuna embraced him again. This shows his great friendship with him. Though not stated, it should be understood that before Arjuna offered respects, as mentioned in this verse, Yudhisthira and Bhima offered respects to him first, just as they embraced him first. Or they did not offer respects, since it would restrict their bliss more than previously they experienced. This is a Sanatana Goswami's commentary. It's not on the board. Okay. More than previously they experienced bliss. As with place, so according to time, there is a special bliss in circumstances of meeting the Lord. The conclusion is described in Bhagavatamrita, Manina, which means respected persons. He offered respects in a suitable manner. Of course, Sanatana Goswami is the author of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And actually, he does mention that a lot in his commentaries, the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. It was one of the first books that the Goswamis did. So these commentaries came much later, after he had written the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Huh? Yeah, go ahead.
We know that Krishna is the supreme personality of God, so we have Nakula and Sahadev paying their obeisance.
Uh-huh.
But wouldn't the other devotees, even though they're equal, wouldn't they pay obeisance to they know he's God?
Well, if they know he's God, or for some type of yoga maya or something's covering them over. But I think that a lot of this, they're emphasizing a lot of etiquette. So there was probably a lot of people offering obeisances to Krishna as just as a king or a prince. You had, depends on what social order you're in, whether you're a Sudra, a Vaishya, those are probably, there's going to be crowds as he enters the city. This is just at the gate. He hadn't even got to the city yet. He's at the gate. And so we can read sometimes that, even Prabhupada had, like, Brahmananda, offer your obeisances to your mother. So there's some etiquette in respect of one's elders. So for Nahas, Krishna was considered an elder. So then you can see they offered. Arjuna wanted to offer obeisances, but Krishna prevented him. He grabbed him and embraced him. And it says it was not quite clear with Yudhisthira and Bhima did because they were older. So there's etiquette is respected. I think there was a lot, and then Krishna offers obeisances too, we see throughout to his mother, and shows respect where warranted. And there's 5 types of obeisances, it says in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. The first obeisance is just saying hello. You're recognizing somebody comes into a room, you recognize their presence, you say hello. Or you greet them, you walk by them or something, you just recognize a person's presence. That's the very first basics. That's just etiquette. Number 2 is just folded hand, and just bow your head, just a little bit higher, respect, you bow your head. And number 3 is you fold your hands. Number 4 is you get on your hands and knees, like we do. We get down, we offer obeisances. And 5, each one's a little bit higher. And 5th is the dandavats. Dandavats is not something you just say, dandavats, Prabhu. Dandavats is you lay down like a rod and you offer your prostrated obeisances. That's with 8 parts of the body, right? You got 5 parts of the body. Number 4, when you offer your obeisances, your hands and knees, and there's 5 parts of the body: your knees, your hands, your head. And then with dandavats, it's those parts plus your mind, your body, your words, everything, or your subtle body and your physical body. Everything is offered. That's the topmost. So I guess when we read about different types of respect here, we're going through the, based on relationship, but the etiquette is still there. I don't know if that helped understand. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop at 29. But as we're talking, just mentioned, this is at the gate. Krishna's just come. They heard. They all go to the gate. And typically, we don't really, the closest we can see that is like, say when Prabhupada traveled, they would go to the airport. And devotees would meet him at the airport. And oftentimes, if your family member is coming for a visit, you go to the airport, oftentimes because they don't have a car, unless they're going to rent a car, you need to pick them up. But in the case even like Prabhupada, it was there as a show of respect and the greeting. So we see here just that type of respect is offered. But this also shows the eagerness to see, right? You don't want to wait, say, for Prabhupada to come to the temple. You want to go out there and see him as soon as you can possibly see him. And this is what's happened here with these Pandavas. They didn't want to waste a second of opportunity to be in the association of Krishna. So they go right to the gate. Now, of course, later they're going to be described as they enter the city. It's very, very decorative. Of course, as already described, there's the instruments, the music playing. It's a very joyous occasion. And so oftentimes, even in dignitaries, there's greeting. Of course, like even typically it's a little bit different. Say on if a head of state is coming to a head of state, sometimes you see there's a big, sometimes depends on the situation. There's a big hoopla, the head of state comes, oftentimes at an airport, they have some kind of a reception, initial reception for some people. It all depends on the relationship of an individual who's coming. Sometimes not at all. It depends if it's what kind of country they're head of. It's different. And sometimes even at the temple, there's a lot of greetings. We greet visitors or something. Maybe a sannyasi's coming and there's some greeting, or the spiritual master comes. There's often even greeting. But even nowadays, primarily not too much in America. People go to the airport and greet people. There's some, huh? In the old days it did, but that's kind of faded away. Yeah. So Interesting, this is really, this prema that is mentioned here also, because sneha, which is affection, this affection is used a number of times here, and it's like, we just, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read about these continuing stages of prema. So this affection is, they already have prema for Krishna. That's mentioned here, they have prema. Even Kardama Muni and Devahuti, they described, they had love for each other. They had prema, is actually the Sanskrit word is used. So it's used often, it just means love. But we understand there's love in the material world is primarily just lust. Different stages of lust, different degrees of lust. But here we're describing is a prema. Now, and of course, also this is the Vaidhi platform, because there's a lot of awe and reverence. Nakula, Sadev, everybody, they're offering obeisances to Krishna. This is on a little bit different platform of their relationship. Arjuna is friends. Of course, Yudhisthira, they consider themselves friends, but he was like the emperor. He was going to have this Rajastula sacrifice. So he's in a position of higher authority on the Bharatvarsa. He was going to give, so he's in a position still below Brahmins, but still a very high position in the whole hierarchy of society. Now, these continuous stages of bhakti, we just read these, and Majja Lila, chapter 24 is where we're at right now, text 30. Prabhupada, these things, Lord Chaitanya is discussing this. This is part of the Atmaram verse. He's breaking it all down, but then he explains this here. He says there are 10 meanings. This is 24:30, Majja Lila. There are 10 meanings for the word bhakti, devotional service. 10 meanings. That word is in the Atmaram verse. One is sadhana bhakti, execution of devotional service according to the regulated principles. And the other 9 varieties of prema bhakti, ecstatic love of Godhead. Purport. As Prabhupada says here, the 9 varieties of prema bhakti are rati, prema, sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, bhava, and mahabhava. And translated, these are attraction, love, affection, adverse feelings, intimacy, attachment, subattachment, ecstatic love, and sublime ecstatic love. For the word sadhana bhakti, there is only one meaning: the execution of devotional service according to the regulated principles. So this happens, sadhana bhakti, when one actually begins, Prabhupada describes this, that process begins when a person agrees to follow the rules and regulations of the process, and they take initiation. At that point, that's the initiation, means beginning. So sadhana bhakti begins on that point, when one agrees to follow the rules and regulations, then they take initiation. And this begins the process of Vaidhi bhakti, or sadhana bhakti. And of course, with every hope and desire, we want to transcend that process into the Vaidhi process, the regulated, go to regulated to spontaneous. Now these is described here. Sneha is how they're feeling. They already have prema. They're now experiencing these symptoms beyond prema, these emotions, as Prabhupada described right here. Now, a lot of this, even in the Ujjvala Nilmala, he describes how the gopis go through this, but their prema is like honey. It's sweet. It's a little bit different than what the Pandavas experience. They experience all these same ecstasies, except for, it says here, Mahabhava. Mahabhava, they say, sublime ecstatic love. Only Radharani and the principal gopis experience that Mahabhava. All the rest of the gopis, they experience up to Bhava. That's, oh wow. Okay. That was quick.
I really like your explanations. They're always very enlightening.
All right.
So I have some questions.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundaranam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Asa Sakale Priya Priti Manti Lasyan Dipan Dikayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam
Utale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namao Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Utale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskacha Desatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Bracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vaskacha Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, 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 Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Brihat Madanga ki, Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki, Gaur Premanandi. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A quick announcement that both Saturday and Sunday are going to be beautiful days, and both days we're having Harinam Sankirtan. Saturday here in Hillsborough at Weaver Street Market between 11:30 and 1. And on Sunday, we'll meet at Weaver Street Market in Scarborough at noon for Nagar Sankirtan. We'll go to probably about 1:30. So please join us for Harinam Sankirtan, the Yuga Dharma. The real reason that Prabhupada came to this world was to give everyone the chance to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitarpanam Marjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitarnam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Eta Drishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Nuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Ishre Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitiki Twai Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddha Gribhayata vabada pankaja Sita duli sadrashim vachintaya Nayanam giladashu daraya Vadanam gad gudaradaya gira Pulakarnishitam vapukada Tavanamagrahane bhavishyati Yugayatam namishena Chakshusha pravashayatam Shunayatam jagatsarvam Govindam virahename Ashlishava padamratamanastumam Adarshanam marmahatakarotuva Yatatatava vidadatulam bato Mat prananatastu sa eva napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spread the rays, the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand and end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Shashaska Ki Jai. Well, we want to thank the Pujaris, Acharya Sevak and his wife, for dressing the deity so nicely. It's really springtime again, right here on our altar with Sri Sri Radha Goloka Nanda, and they're being taken care of so nicely. Thanks to Divir for a nice class, and thanks to, is it Leela Shakti cooking today? Whoever's downstairs, thank you for making nice offerings to the deities. Santosh, okay. Okay, Haribo, Santosh, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.